What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Surrey Stingers, bringing you guys our Week 11 match for the PTL Season 2 and Division 2. This is a clutch stretch, and I'm going to be recording my Week 11 and 12 back-to-back, but you guys will see them. Yeah, you'll probably see them back-to-back as well. I'll probably do Saturday Week 11 Team Builder, Sunday match, Monday Week 12 Team Builder, Tuesday match. I've actually got a lot of content coming out. Got a couple other video. NCL week 6 will go up Wednesday, Thursday, and then WPL on the weekend, of course. So this is Elli, and this match had been pushed back quite a while. Unfortunately, Elli had some problems with her mother. I don't necessarily think that it's my business to talk about that at all, but she is back in her team and she can make playoffs. You can see she's 6-3 plus 15. She's still missing another match as well as mine, so there's 3 matches for her to make up this week. Yeah, let's run through her team then before we get into things here. So Tapu Koko, Torn-T, Mega Scizor, Nidoqueen, Superior, Z Entei, Seismitoad, Z Dragonite, Musharna, Girder, and Z Shelmet. I wasn't expecting Girder or Shelmet to show up at all. I thought maybe the Mega Scizor would show up. I thought maybe the Serp would show up. Maybe the Dragonite would show up. All in all, I basically expected this anyways, so I was kind of okay with this. One of the Nidoqueen or the Seismitoad is going to have rocks. Not sure which it's going to be. Coco's obviously a problem, but the only Z user available to her is the Entei. In terms of what I'm bringing a 4-attacks Mega Lopunny, which is just outspeeding the Tapu Koko. I didn't really feel like I could afford to run any setup, and it was just in my best interest to run a bunch of coverage options. I'm actually not running Fighting Stab. I don't need Fighting Stab against her team. It's just more beneficial for me to hit things with Return really hard instead. Oh, Roserade is Scarf Roserade. Spikes 3 attacks, Roserade. Chomp is Yachi Berry, Rocks, Raikou, Calm Mind, 3 attacks, Golurky Banded, and Blastoise is Fizz Def for the Entei, and potentially the Scizor. I'm running a very offensive spread this week in terms of the team, not really any defense except for the Blastoise, because her team had way too many options for me to try and cover. So I'm just going to lead off with the Roserade here. I figured it was my best lead against everything except Torn, and of course the Torn comes out. So I'm going to go hard into my Raikou, predicting the electric move, which would have been fine. Otherwise, I could have Sludge Bombed for about 50% here, but I'm going to go into Raikou, predicting the electric move, or sorry, the flag move, but it's actually a knockoff. I'm okay with getting rid of my lefties there. It's not the end of the world. Lets me gauge the damage here, and it shows to be timid 0 attack based on that damage output. Very speedy, and most likely will be thingy. Especially offensive, excuse me. I'm just going to go for the extra sensory, predicting the Nidoqueen to come in. It's fine to hit the Seismitoad coming in too. Just makes sense with the U-turn there. And that Nidoqueen is fat. So Nidoqueen should have taken about 50%-ish from that extra sensory into 24. I calced it fully SpDef, and it was still doing more, so I slapped Navy on there, and that's about what it was doing. This is fully SpDef Assault Vest Nidoqueen, so I know the rocks aren't on this, I know they're on the Seismitoad, and I have to play around what this Nidoqueen's going to do to me, so I'm just going to actually go hard into my Garchomp here, as she makes a read and goes into Tapu Koko. I'm not sure what she was expecting to come in, necessarily, with the Koko coming in. Maybe my Blastoise. She might have been expecting either Blastoise or Golurky, potentially. But I went Chomp because I knew she wasn't going to click Ice Beam. Didn't really make that much sense when my team's grounded and she can just click Earth Power for free. So I went Chomp, and Chomp is going to be able to pressure this Koko here. I think I just go for the Earthquake, actually, and she's going to gauge the damage by clicking U-turn and going into Musharna. Get a little bit of chip there against the Koko with the U-turn. I didn't calc that damage, so I have no idea what it is, but I did calc this damage, and this Musharna is fully physically defensive. I was actually expecting a Rocky Helmet variant to deal with my Mega Lopunny, but it's supposed to be leftovers. I mean, physically defensive either way, Musharna is going to be able to handle the Mega Lopunny decently well. Outside of that, her team's really weak to it. Tornadus is taking like 70 to 80, depending on how much bulk she has, and I can't imagine it's that much if she's speed creeping Raikou, and as well as being offensive. Otherwise, she could be max HP with just barely any offense. But yeah, I'm going to opt to double here into my Golurky because Golurky can handle this Musharna really well. She goes for the Calm Mind, but she's got 0 Shadow Punch switch-ins. I said it in the team builder. She's actually got 0 Ghost immunities on her team. So it's actually kind of interesting that this Seismitoad takes that much from Shadow Punch, and I was looking at the speeds. I'm running a little bit of speed on this Golurky. I don't think it's for min speed Seismitoad. I could be wrong. I thought it was for something else, but I am running speed on this Golurky for something, and it could be for min speed Seismitoad. imagining it's for Min-Speed Nidoqueen, based on what I was looking at, but I am running, yeah, running swim speed, so I figure I can outspeed it, but she's actually running a little bit of speed herself, and so she's going to be able to get up rocks, which kind of sucks. It's not the end of the world necessarily, but it does kind of suck a little bit. So Entei's going to come in here. I'm just going to harden my Blastoise, which is my switch in every single time. We choose Sacred Fires for days. Didn't bother calculating it. That just did 19. I'm going to go for a Toxic. Put something on a timer. Nidoqueen's obviously not coming out on the Scald, so we're going to get the Coco on a timer with the Toxic there. It's actually really helpful. Just any sort of little chip on this Coco is really good, and it lets me go to my Garchomp here as she actually doubles into Torn. So it was an interesting play there. I'm Yache Berry. I know I can eat an HP Ice or an Icy Wind or whatever from this. You know, obviously the Yache Berry is kind of the only thing keeping me relevant against the Coco and the Nidoqueen at the moment, but I am just going to opt to get up my rocks. It's good chip against the Torn and the Entei, and it gets a little bit more chip against the Coco. So she's going to go into Queen on the rock. She's making aggressive doubles here, predicting probably my Raikou coming in. But I just made the aggressive play, or I made the aggressive play perhaps, and went for the rocks there instead. She's going to go into Torn on my EQ. I could have clicked Dragon Claw predicting the Torn, but it wasn't really all that important. I'm going to go into Raikou and make the safe play now. As she goes to the Icy Wind. And another knockoff won't kill me. She might have to rely on Hurricane to hit me based on her coverage options, and an Icy Wind won't kill me here. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable to just click Extra Sensory again with Raikou. It's pretty much death fodder at this point. I figured she'd probably want to U-turn into the Nidoqueen. And despite the speed drop, I'm actually going to outspeed this Nidoqueen and be able to get another Extra Sensory off. A crit would have killed, but instead I'm just going to sack off the Raikou. So it's not the end of the world, though, because her Nidoqueen is stupid chipped. Now, granted, she probably only was keeping it around for that Raikou, but it's not worth her time to not just sack it here to my Mega Lopunny, which means I get to get my Mega Evolution off right away and just claim one. Return was my safer play if she opted to go into the Musharna. This is actually a roll for my return to kill this Tornadus, depending on how much bulk she has. But I'm not going to go for it because Hurricane's going to kill me, so I'm just going to double into my Garchomp as she is going to do something. She's going to double into her Entei, which was also kind of weird. I didn't really understand why she wouldn't just click U-turn there. That was a little bit sketchy. Her just doubling an Entei there is like super weird. And of course my Garchomp's going to outspeed this unless she's Scarfed. So she's going to go into the Musharna on my Dragon Claw this time. I predicted the Torn coming back in. Overall, it doesn't really matter because my Golurky can come in, and even though she's going to heal up with Moonlight here, Shadow Punch is just really free for me to click. And so I'm going to be able to two-shot this Musharna very easily with Banded Shadow Punch. Shadow Ball is not going to do quite enough to me to put me in range of anything from the Coco. So we get to claim the Musharna. The Tornadus is going to come in here, and she's going to opt to click Hurricane, which is going to miss, of course, because it's a 70% accurate move, and that's going to drop. She's going to go Entei and predict my Blastoise coming in, I think, and click Toxic, which is just going to let the Entei die, and then the Tapu Koko is going to come in, and it's going to drop to a Shadow Punch, as Dazzling Gleam or HP Ice, whatever she wanted to go for, is not going to be quite enough to take me out. So Golurk picks up 4 kills at the end of the game there. It actually picked up 5 throughout the game, and Golurk now sits at a lot of kills this season. It's a lot of kills. This was a huge match for us to win. This puts us at 9-2 plus 20, which is really big, really big. The 9th win is huge because it locks us into a top 3 seed. And it also, beating Elli itself is also really huge because she was in a position to be able to take my buy spot from me if I didn't win this game. But yeah, that 9th win slots me into a top 3 spot guaranteed because Gremlin's already played all 12 of his games and he's sitting at 8 wins. So even if Brett wins out, even if Brett wins his last match, then he can't push me down further than 3rd, and that is important because that means that I dodge David Ryan, who's currently the #1 seed, all the way until finals if we both make finals. I'd really rather not play him until finals anyways. He's the only person that can make playoffs that I won't have played, and I don't want to play that early on. I'd rather put a lot of effort into prep for that later into the season. So again, this is a huge win. Roserade didn't even have to do anything this game. Blastoise didn't really have to do anything. Even Mega Lopunny, which is the kill leader on the team, really didn't have to do that much. Golurk putting in so much work, man. Golurk's just an absolute legend on this team this season. Probably in the running for an MVP candidate if I had to pick one. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me for this match. I was really scared of Ellie's team. I'm kind of hoping that she ends up losing a couple more times and doesn't make playoffs, so that I don't have to replay her because her team is really broken, and I would definitely have to change some stuff up for her to not be ready, I guess. Though she doesn't really have great counterplay options to some of the Pokemon on my team. Specifically Banded Golurk, she just really doesn't have counterplay to, so even if she tries to build around it, it's just still going to tear her apart. Yeah, so there's a couple options on my end, and I didn't really show all that much from this. I'm not going to publicly post this team builder for her to see, so she'll have to come searching for it if she wants to find it. Yeah, but again, that's gonna be for me. Next week we take on Moki, or tomorrow we take on Moki, or Wolf. Sorry, he rebranded to Wolf, and the Golden City Gardevoir. He's in the running for a playoff spot if Ellie loses out, so that could be really helpful for his playoff run there. And that's gonna end our season, our regular season. We'll be fighting for a bye. If we beat Moki, we're guaranteed ourselves a bye into the second round of playoffs. And if we lose to Moki, then we still have a shot at a bye, but it really depends on Brett's match. So that's gonna be for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this game, and I will catch you guys in the next one.